They're renovating the Rivoli Theater. Find out how you can play a part. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're visiting with birthday boy Harry Love, and we're focused on the Rivoli. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning.
And happy birthday.
Oh, thank you very much.
How exciting.
One more.
Yeah, just one more. You've had a few of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
But not every year has your birthday come around when you've been as active as you are with the Rivoli Corporation.
Well, I suppose not.
And it has been a long-term gig here.
Yeah, it sure has. But we're getting there. I think there's hope on the horizon.
Yeah. You've got to be feeling good. And so many activities. Of course, last Wednesday with Debbie Reynolds in town and being presented the key to the city.
Oh, yeah, that was a great day. And Debbie Reynolds is charming and funny, and she was very supportive. And in fact, she told the crowd that she'd be on tour with a show, and she'd be glad to come back here and put on a free show for the benefit of the Rivoli.
You're kidding?
No,
great.
So we're remembering that, and we have a number of plans in the works for fundraising.
Oh yeah, there've got to be. And of course, you had such a spectacular fundraiser last year and over the last couple of years related to the Carousel Horse Project.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I think I saw the numbers were like mid-300s.
Yes, we netted $367,000.
Which is spectacular when you think about that. And of course, the ability, just out here on the base, I've seen a number of the horses. The Dargan Foundation's got one over in the park over there close to the Myrtle Beach Air Base Redevelopment Authority's office. And of course, ours, which will soon be in front of the building, moved to the front of our building here.
Good. And we appreciate your participation.
So many folks, and Diane Devon Stokes and the entire group. You all had an amazing group of folks, not only from the city who were volunteering their own time, but other volunteers really making that happen.
And the artists did a wonderful job.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we had some talented people painting those horses, and without fail, they said, you know, it was a bigger job than they ever anticipated. Mm-hmm. But they all finished on time, and we got the horses in the Sun Fun Parade, and then out there on the street all summer long, and people really enjoyed it.
Oh yes, and that was a huge hit in the parade, Harry.
Yeah.
A huge
they looked good,
hit.
didn't they?
Seeing them come down there, that was part of the thrill about being out at the Sun Fun Parade that day.
Yeah.
For a heck of a lot of folks. Harry, real quick about yourself, for viewers who may not have met you here locally, and of course so many of our viewers are in the PD and southeastern North Carolina. Are you originally from the area?
Oh no, I was born in upstate New York, a city called Binghamton, New York.
And what brought you to Myrtle Beach?
Well, I've been coming to Myrtle Beach to play golf since 1954. Things were a little different then, incidentally.
Yeah, that's right.
Kings Highway was a two-lane road. Where the Myrtle Square Mall is or was a driving range.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It was a great little community then, and getting to be a big community now.
Yes. So you said you started coming here 50 years ago.
Yeah.
1954.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
And then Sylvia and I, once we got the idea, we bought property here in 1972, and then finally got around to doing the right thing and moved here permanently in 82.
Now, did you attend school in the South, or have some affinity with the South that really prompted you to think about Myrtle Beach, or was it really golf?
No, it's really golf. Although I did finish my undergraduate work at Duke University.
Duke University?
Yeah.
You mean the home of the Duke Blue Devils?
Durham,
yeah.
North Carolina.
I know those
Your
folks.
hometown.
It is my hometown. I love Duke. And Duke ended up paying for me to go to college.
Is that right?
Indirectly. That's right, because my dad teaches at Duke.
Oh, is that right?
He's a professor at the law school.
Oh my goodness.
He's a law professor there. Actually, he's been there, Harry, since not long after you attended. He joined the law faculty in 1950. He joined the faculty in 1950 and taught for a year and then left for 5 years, came back in 56, and he's been continuous since 1956.
Oh, is he still there?
Oh, yeah, he still teaches.
Great.
He's teaching criminal law in about an hour.
Is that right?
He'll be teaching, and he teaches first-year criminal law students in the fall and in the spring.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, he's very active there. He loves his time at Duke, and of course, yeah, it's a very special place.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I went there after I got out of service. The first 2 years of my undergraduate was in upstate New York in Hamilton College, a small liberal arts college.
Right.
And then I went in the service and decided the snow country wasn't for me anymore, and Duke kind of fit the right mold.
That's fascinating. And so many folks, of course, attended Duke coming out of, in your instance, World War II. A lot of folks came back after the Korean War, and having that little time off, and really were able to make an impact in that community to help Duke grow to be what it is today.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And in fact, my son, my late son, was born at Duke Hospital.
Is that right?
Yeah, he graduated, and so did I.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Of course. And now, do you have any memory of living there in Durham? I guess in the.
Oh, sure.
And I think I saw you'd also written for the Herald Sun there.
Yeah, after I graduated from Duke, I decided to take a shot at the newspaper game, and went to work for the Durham Morning Herald.
It was the Durham Morning Herald then.
Yeah. It since has merged or deceased or something. I had nothing to do with that.
That's right. It merged with the Afternoon Sun. It's now the Herald Sun.
Yeah.
We, of course, like anyone who wrote for any paper related to a Herald, so that's very exciting. Absolutely, a great connection we've got.
I covered City Hall there, and it was an education also.
Yeah, and at that time, I guess a lot of the City Hall meetings or meetings in the South were not necessarily open to reporters. They could tell you whether or not they wanted you to be there, and
yeah, you had to cultivate your contacts. Of course, you still do, I think, in the newspaper game and or any other area of news. But being a northerner, it wasn't always easy.
Right.
But we worked it out.
Oh yeah, Harry, I'm sure you did. You later attended law school.
Yes. After I got out of debt, I went to law school, Albany Law School, part of Union University in Albany, New York.
Right. That's the state capital of New York.
Right.
Did you think of staying? You then stayed in New York for quite a while and practiced law.
Yeah, I was in a rather narrow area of practice. I went to work for the Bell System in their government relations department, which is a euphemism for lobbying. And so I spent a good deal of time in the winter, especially in Albany, when the legislature was in session. And other than that, my office was in New York, and I commuted daily on that old railroad and in and out of New York.
Now, of course, we think of you now, obviously, in a watercolor, a much different scenario. Did that set the stage? Did you have the time? How did you figure out that what was a passion would turn into a profession, really, after the law?
Well, it's something I've done all my life, and I enjoy it. And so after I retired, I had more time to do it. But,
so you were painting all your life?
Oh, sure.
Really? Was that when we say all of our lives, we mean even
when I was a kid?
Yeah,
I was a kid. In fact, my mother saved some school books, and I had pictures of the teachers in my in the margin, and fortunately they were my books, so the teachers never saw those. But anyway, it's just something that I just love to do and still do.
I think I saw you've got it in quite a few locations here in the Strand. In addition to private homes, a heck of a lot of public locations.
Yeah, I have a few prints, but I've done a lot of local landmarks, many of which are no longer there. And the Ocean Forest Hotel, for example, you see a lot of in offices around. A lot of my prints of that.
You were painting that when you were still in New York, but coming down. I guess the Ocean Forest Hotel was torn down what year?
No, I was around when the Ocean Forest came down. As a matter of fact, I well remember it. But I painted it. Let's see, about 5 years after it was imploded.
You painted that from memory or from pictures?
From photos. Yeah, there are lots of photos around.
That's right. Of course, we always hear about Jack Thompson, and
he's got them.
So many of his photos, both while they're there, and shots of Strom Thurmond out playing tennis over there, and some hilarious shots.
That one I haven't seen. But,
yeah, well, you'll have to visit the Jack Thompson studios. He's got a great shot there. Let's go for viewers who may need to run out to school now or get off to work, so they could learn a little more about the Myrtle Beach Corporation for the Arts, or otherwise known as the Rivoli Corporation. Is there a good phone number they could call, Harry?
Well, we have no office as such. Rachel Broadhurst, our chairman, is very helpful by letting us, when we need office or need help, and we meet there, as a matter of fact, currently. But so we don't have any official phone. You won't find us listed in the directory. I could give you my phone number. I'd be glad to talk to anybody who's interested in the corporation. But,
great. Okay. Well, I think I saw on a letterhead an 843-448-7169 number.
That's Rachel's number.
That may be Rachel's number.
Yeah,
okay. Of course.
That'd probably be the one to use if you want to talk to the boss.
If a viewer wanted to find out more, and of course to find out some of the other board members, you all have a very active board.
Yes, we do. We have an excellent board. Small. There are only 6 of us, so everybody works, and they're leaders in their own particular area of the community.
Share with viewers how the board was set up, obviously its original mission, and then how you all decided to wrap around Rivoli as the place to be going forward.
Well, the Rivoli was purchased by the city back in 1999, and the corporation, however, our corporation, was formed by the city just 4 months ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And in fact, City Council, in passing the memorandum to create the corporation, wanted to be sure that it was a separate corporation at arm's length from the city, formed first of all to do fundraising for the Rivoli, but secondly to operate the Rivoli once the renovation is completed. So that's our mission, and we're going to work on the first part, which is fundraising.
Yes, and that'll be going on for quite a while. If the Usry or the Steve Usry figures would be in line with what y'all hope to accomplish, or they may be less, they may be more now.
Yeah. Well, Steve was very generous with his time, and in fact, he did that work pro bono. I have to take my hat off to him, and because he stepped forward and said, if you need conceptual drawings, and in fact he took a look with us at the Rivoli before the city bought it, and so that's been very useful, his designs, and I thought it was imaginative, and it includes an art gallery in the annex adjacent to the lobby, so we've got all the arts covered,
right,
performing and visual.
Those will be, and of course, and you're going to have the voter's choice or the favorite carousel horse in there as well.
That's right. That one is preserved over in City Hall, and patiently waiting until we get the renovation done, and then have a place of honor in the lobby.
Yep.
And in fact, you may know this, but photographs of all of the carousel horses will be featured on the walls of the lobby.
Great.
So that you and the others who sponsored a carousel horse you'll be remembered forever.
That's wonderful. I can't wait to see it when that happens.
Yeah,
we'll
me
do
too.
everything we can. I'm sure you as well. Share with viewers a little about the history of the Rivoli Theater, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, well, it opened on June 19th, 1958. And in fact, the first movie was This Happy Feeling, starring Debbie Reynolds.
Right.
And last week, Debbie was kind enough to come over and have an appearance in the lobby of the Rivoli, and we had quite a crowd.
Oh yeah.
And so everybody remembers that the Rivoli started in '58 with Debbie Reynolds. But then it was a state-of-the-art movie house, and the Stereophonic sound. There was only one other theater at the time in the country that had a similar up-to-date sound system, and the screen, large screen. The interesting part I find about the Rivoli, and we intend to keep this feature, is that it had, instead of a balcony, it has stadium seating, so that there's no head in front of you when you're trying to see the screen.
Wow.
And the interesting part, although we don't talk a lot about this, is that, of course, the Rivoli was built and operating before desegregation. So the seating in the stadium seating was for the Afro-Americans and the black people, and they really had the best seat.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought that was interesting. And of course, after desegregation, that became the favorite seating for everybody.
I'm sure.
One of the things I like about the stories that I've heard about the Rivoli is that kids could get into the Rivoli for the Saturday matinee for 7 bottle caps.
Oh my God.
And as a matter of fact, I won't give you his name, but I know he was a kid at the time, and his parents owned a bar or restaurant. And he used to collect all the bottle caps, of course, that accumulated there, and sell them to the other kids. So a very enterprising man, and he still is, and he's enterprising today.
Oh, I wish you could share who that was. Yeah, I know you can.
I'm not going to tell on it.
Yeah. We'll have to track who that is and get him in and then pinpoint him on air. Yeah.
The Rivoli out in front has 2 figures that were done at the time, commissioned at the time. And they're really they aren't realistic figures. They were done by an artist by the name of Gerard Tempest, who left Myrtle Beach and went to Italy to study, and he's become world famous. And as a matter of fact, he lives today. He's in his 90s, and he lives up in Durham.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he was down here a few years back after we had purchased the Rivoli, and I took him over to see his figures, and he told me that, I said, how much commission did you get for those figures? And he said, I think it was somewhere around $1,200. He said, maybe $1,500. And I said, well, if you did them again for us, what would it be? Well, he said it would start at 5 figures, and I won't give you the figure, but
wow.
So there was something. And we intend to preserve as much as possible of the facade of the Rivoli. It's a architecture of its time. And in fact, preserving the Rivoli as a landmark is one of our goals, one of our purposes. But anyway, the Rivoli has a nice history as a movie house, and then it turned into some other things. It was a children's theater at one time. The most recent use was a nightclub, and in fact that went out of business in 1998, and that's when we seized the opportunity to have the city buy it. So it's a good old building. It's solid. It's been examined by structural engineers, and we'll have to do quite a few things to convert it from a movie house. A movie theater, of course, requires no great stage.
Right.
But we'll have to enlarge the stage. We'll have to put in a orchestra pit. We'll have to raise the ceiling on the stage to provide for flies, and we intend to keep the stadium seating. But it has a lot of potential.
That is invaluable, Harry.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're opening the doors, as you said, for both the performing and visual arts nonprofit groups in the area.
Yeah. And one of the features that I like of the Usry design, and I hope we'll continue with that when the actual design is completed, but an annex. And in the annex, in the front, of course, would be the art gallery, but behind it would be offices. And I have high hopes that some of the nonprofit organizations in town would find a home there. If they brought themselves together in office space, they could save some money and business machines, things like a receptionist, telephones, utilities, and so that's one other thing. And if you bring them together, I think they'll not only find an opportunity to work together, but perhaps they'll also be able to bring some of their marketing money together.
Oh, yes.
And we'll have greater impact and get new audiences for the performances there.
That can definitely happen with some of the musical groups in particular. When you think about, albeit I'm sure at some levels folks are anxious about some of their donors crossing over or tapping them, but at the same time, as you say, that opportunity for the marketing dollars to be spent as wisely as you're thinking.
Yes. Well, as a matter of fact, fundraising for the arts, it's not easy in any community, but especially it isn't easy in Myrtle Beach. We're a very small community, and so many of the arts organizations find themselves going to the same people year after year, and sometimes that wears a little thin. So if they bring themselves together, they may be able to coordinate their fundraising activities. I think there's a lot of potential just among the nonprofit arts organizations.
You'll also have some some very strong goals to help revitalize that downtown Myrtle Beach area.
Well, it fits into the plans that Bros and Chapin and Barry Landris Company have been unfolding for the renovation of the Rivoli property. And we hope we can get ours done at the same time as they're getting theirs done, because it will fit in nicely.
Right. I think in the same vein of Jack Thompson's goals to preserve, as you said, some special landmark from, I think you used the words, the wrecking ball, when we think about his efforts to stop the wrecker there at the train depot.
Yeah.
Obviously, you all are thinking in much the same way, since both of you all have a love and an affinity for the Ocean Forest Hotel.
Yeah.
And having seen some things disappear.
Yeah. Jack goes way back in Myrtle Beach, a lot farther than I do, but and he has some wonderful collections of photographs of old Myrtle Beach.
He didn't go back a lot further. If you're talking about coming down in 1954 to start playing golf, he's lived here longer than you, Harry.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
but you must have some vivid memories from, as you said, when Kings Highway was 2 lanes at the mid-50s, coming down here. Now, did a lot of folks from the Northeast come down to golf then?
Oh, sure. I had a golf group, and we sometimes went here, sometimes to Hershey, Pennsylvania, sometimes to Tanglewood in North Carolina.
Yeah, sure.
We moved around every summer, so and we came back here fairly often.
When you think about, for you, Harry, so many different avenues of people and wanting your time to tap you for, because they know you're an amazing fundraiser and stepping out and the ability to do that. Is there something that constantly inspires you to say, Rivoli's the one, I'm focusing on that? I'm involved in a lot of other things, but that's one that's taken a lot of my time now.
Yeah. Well, I think I began to get the idea. I go to all of the nonprofit performing arts that I can when they don't overlap. And they're performing in church fellowship halls and recreation centers, and they really are not adequate. They don't have a green room, they don't have dressing rooms. They do well with what they have, but it isn't fair to the artists, and it certainly isn't fair to the audience. And that's why the Rivoli really is something that's needed in this community. And I think the audiences will enjoy the presentations more, and I know the actors will.
I'm sure you're right. Harry, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Well, great to be here.
Hope to get you back again. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Harry Love coming up next. Think about that, a cultural arts center right there in the heart of Myrtle Beach. How exciting just to even picture that. We didn't get to talk about Harry's days as a B-24 and B-29 bomber pilot. The excitement to think about that in the early 40s, but then being in Durham, North Carolina, the home of the Duke Blue Devils, and of course, even more importantly, a big day like today, a birthday. Give Harry a call, track him down, find him to wish him a birthday. You've got all day long. It's only 7:30 in the morning. You can track him down. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. Just know he's making a constant effort, not something that he just thinks about on and off. It's something he's thinking about all the time to bring this real, true idea of a cultural arts center right in the heart of Myrtle Beach to so many, not only the audience, but the performers themselves. Harry Love, happy birthday.